Hi, and welcome back to the Communication Mastery Podcast with me, Mark Berlinson. And I've got exciting news for you. We've got 2 seasons already behind us, but now we're going to go weekly with this podcast. So you can grab every Monday just a short segment of communication insight that you can use right away so that we can unleash the power of understanding together. You can understand yourself, you can understand others, and I'm hoping to bring to you every week something really valuable for your journey. We're going to focus primarily on business, but there's going to be all kinds of applications of that outside the business world as well. Lessons we'll learn together you can apply in the community or even at home. And so when we go weekly, this is going to be my free gift to you, where I can share my experience, I can share some of my story and my journey, where you can gain more understanding of communication for your own benefit. And it's also a place where we can talk about the things that work in real life. So there's not going to be a great deal of theory, there's going to be a lot of application. And the reason I do what I do is that I haven't always been good at communication. I've had to learn the hard way what I now share with and help other people to learn. And so I started out in my adult life with very little self-awareness, probably actually honestly no self-awareness. And I've had to learn to understand myself before I could learn to understand other people. And on that journey, not only have I learned to understand myself in a healthy way, but I've also learned to adapt to other people. And that's the key that I love to convey to business teams, because when you're a small business or a mid-sized business, you don't have the budget to invest in big scale HR and training. But I can help you very easily to learn about how you're wired and how to adapt to other people who are wired differently. Had a conversation just this morning with a lady who had to be able to approach her boss and explain that she wasn't really receiving her value in the work she was doing. And I explained to her that she's not wired to confront in that way, but she's able to do it if she recognizes the styles that are needed to be able to talk to her boss in a way that he could understand and he could receive it. And we trust that that's going to be successful for her. So I don't just coach people in communication, I actually train coaches now so that we multiply the impact of communication mastery right across this country, right around the world. And another success story just recently, I was working with a retired businessman who was finding himself needing to do more public speaking. And he's not wired for that. He's a very good businessman. He did great in the work that he retired from, made a lot of money, was able to make his companies very successful. He even does some consulting now for other companies. But when it comes to standing up in front of people, he had all kinds of details in his communication profile that made it challenging for him. But as we've sat down together over a couple of cups of coffee and we've looked at his profile, we've been able to identify ways that he can prepare in advance for him to be able to stand and speak when he has to. And he's seeing great fruit from that as well. So these weekly podcasts are going to be a mix of guests, which we had many of in season 2, and also the communication insights from my experience that you can use right away. And the foundational thought in all of these programs, all of these podcasts is going to be that communication is the ground that teamwork grows in. So as we unleash the power of understanding ourselves and understanding one another, that ground communication is going to make our teamwork more fruitful. I want your teamwork to be really healthy in your business. And as I said, as a fringe benefit in your community or in your home as well. So we'll kick off next week with a great friend of mine, Michelle Griffin. She's the brand director for a local law firm. She's also a partner in a promotional products company. And she's an ambassador for the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce. And so she seems to know everyone around here. And because she communicates so powerfully and so openly with so many people, I want to hear from her. What has she learned about communication? Her journey. It's going to be a really wonderful episode, so don't miss that. And in between episodes, as we work through this weekly schedule, there won't be seasons anymore. We're just going to keep going. But in between episodes, you can listen again to the episodes in season 1 and season 2. They're still available in the feed. You can look through those for topics that are particularly of interest to you or where we deal with particular issues that are relevant to where you're at today. You can also find me on TikTok now. as well as Instagram and LinkedIn, and YouTube and Facebook, where you're used to finding me too. So our primary focus as we go through will be business communication, especially small and medium-sized businesses, but also non-profits, because I care about the community. So you can learn these lessons, apply them day by day, and then please get back to me with your stories of what happens as you take these learnings and use them in your daily life. You may have questions. Feed them back to me through the contact form on my website at markburlinson.com, because then I can answer those questions in future episodes. You don't have to wait for the answers anymore. Once the episodes come in, I'll be able to answer in the next episode. And so you can also do me a favor. If this is going to be helpful to you, why don't you pull out your phone right now and text a friend, send them the link for this episode and say, hey, join us on this journey. It's a weekly short podcast that'll help us both in our communication. Send that text now, and I will see you next week.